how to create a great newsletter. What makes a newsletter exceptional and not just anything that we delete even before we open it? How to make it great? How to make a great subject line that attracts readers?
Yeah, I think it's being consistent, because even if you experiment a lot with the format, it's not like that after one edition of the great newsletter and content, we will instantly get new subscribers. You need to grow them week by week, month by month. For us, years by years, because it's year by year, because it's our list, it's 20,000 people, but it's something that we managed to gather through all these years that we organized the initiatives, the conferences, and so on and so forth. So yeah, being consistent and not to give up, I think this is the main rule, but also listen carefully to the community. So what they pay attention to, what they're interested in.
What if you don't have no community? When you start with zero, how do you?
Like the zero problem.
You can start with your friends and people on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And you need to start somewhere, right? So at the beginning, maybe you can make a little challenge for like 5 days on the topic on your field, and then you have 100 people, and then you can encourage them to send it to their friends. And there are several things you can do to grow the list, like growth hacks. For example, because Aga has her own newsletter as well. And you always put every week you put on social media what's gonna be the topic of the next newsletter, and encourage people to sign up. You need to remind people that you can sign up.
Yeah, like given also the incentive. So for us, it's the challenge. For us, are the video classes. But maybe I saw that many people promote. Subscribe to my newsletter, and you will get the link to a Notion where I gathered all the practical links you should know as a designer, for instance, right? So because once everything depends on the communication and your promoting ways. Because if you want to just write a short message that, hey, I'm going to write on technology, please subscribe. Well, it's kind of boring, right? Why I should waste my time to subscribe and then read your reflections, what I can find there. I need something that will resonate with me, like incentive, something that will be maybe the shortcut to another door, another field. So first, I think that freebie, basically, it's always a good answer, but this freebie has to be interesting for your target. So you have to maybe do some interviews with people, what would be interesting with them or what they struggle with, and then try to come up with interesting lead magnet, freebie that you can offer to people.
And if you're an expert on some field, you can try to become a guest on other newsletter, connected somehow to your field, and maybe share your knowledge and ask people of your host to join your newsletter. It's like with podcasts, right? Yeah. If you want to be a guest, we can be guests in your podcast, and then we can invite people to our podcast, right? To listen to our podcast. It's the same.
Cross promotion.
And how do you come up with topics to write on the newsletter? Yeah, you can be expert at a certain topic, but how do you make sure that people will not get bored listening to or reading your newsletter on a weekly basis? And by the way, how often should you send a newsletter?
Yeah, it depends.
So we send our newsletter every 2 weeks, but Aga sends her every week. Yeah. But your newsletter is shorter, right? Which is, I think, important. If you want people to read your newsletter every week, then it shouldn't be too long.
Yeah.
And the topics, you just come up with them on a weekly basis?
So we work on the newsletters with our team. So there is Maya, who's responsible for creating the content for newsletter. And she's very good at it. With our mission is to recycle the content that we already have. So Maya has an eye on like what's happening
on
webinars, on our repository, let's say. This like the huge storage of the content that like the podcasts or some interviews or webinars with our authors, and she observes like which topic we're getting closer. For instance, if we know that within a month we're going to launch a new course on typography, it's natural for us that we're going to focus on typography in our newsletter to like make more people aware of it, and getting more interested in what's going to be next. So I think that this is the rule. And also, it's important not to over engineer the topic and not to be complicated. We like straightforward language, very plain, so everyone can read it and understand it clearly. So yeah, so for us it's like making complex topics quite simple, like talking with it without the jargon or technical language.